Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another video. Today we are back with the Championship predictions. The FA Cup weekend has just come and gone. Coventry City got knocked out, a bit annoying, but how are you doing, George?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I think with this going out of the FA Cup, it means we can just focus on the league now. Very easy to say that after you have been knocked out, of course, but yeah, it's our bread and butter, isn't it? Let's focus on the league.
Exactly. My score against the guests is up there, so let's see if George can take me down and catch up, because I believe I'm still beating them.
You're going down, Matt.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Obviously, a few games will probably get called off. Lots of games are at the moment because of COVID, but we'll predict the fixtures in full anyway. Starting with Saturday's lunchtime kick-off between Middlesbrough and Birmingham City. Now, Middlesbrough are a team pushing towards the playoffs this season, and they're up against Birmingham, who are being dragged into a bit of a relegation battle. Their last game in the league, I believe, was a 2-0 loss to Blackburn. They're going to want to get something here, and I think this will be a tight game. I'm going to say Middlesbrough 1, Birmingham 1. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be a tight game. I think Middlesbrough will just about edge it there. I'm going to go with 1-0 Middlesbrough. 1-0 Middlesbrough. Yeah. The next game is between Blackburn Rovers and Stoke City. Now, they're both in a similar position in the table, both desperate to sneak into the playoffs this season. Blackburn are the top scorers in the league, but Stoke City, they are no mugs, and they've got a very good defence, actually, one of the best in the league. It's a tough one. When a good attack comes up against a good defence, what's going to happen? I'm going to be boring and go for another 1-1 draw. Yeah, I think there's not really any stopping Adam Armstrong at the moment, is there? He's also got like 16 in the league. Something like that. So I'm going to go with Blackburn to win 1-0. 1-0
to Blackburn, yeah. Okay. Interesting game next, Bournemouth versus Luton Town. Now, Bournemouth obviously battling to get into the top 2 this season, but Luton Town in mid-table, causing a few teams problems this season. This could be an interesting game. I think Luton will go there and put in a good performance. Maybe Bournemouth might just be a bit too strong. I'm going to go Bournemouth 2, Luton 1, but it'll be an interesting game. Yeah,
I think Bournemouth are too strong for Luton. I'm going to go Bournemouth to win 2-0.
Okay, the next game is Bristol City versus Preston North End, and looking at this one, it's a hard one to separate the two. They're both around mid-table. I think they'll both probably finish mid-table. Bristol City might sneak into the playoffs, but Preston, who knows, maybe mid-table. I'm going to go for another draw, 0-0.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one. Bristol City, they were really up there at the start of the season. Where are they now in the league?
I think they're just outside the playoffs.
Oh, okay. So they can still do it then. Yeah, I think overall, on the whole, I'd say Bristol City are a better team. I'll go for them to edge it 2-1.
2-1. The next game is Cardiff City versus Norwich City. Now, this is an interesting game. Norwich obviously just beat us in the FA Cup, but their priority this season is getting promoted back to the Premier League. And Cardiff City, it's not an easy ground to go to. Cardiff will give them a tough game, but I think Norwich will come through. Cardiff 1, Norwich 2.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing Norwich against Coventry in the FA Cup, I don't think they were that special of a team. They didn't really do anything to kind of show us that they were an ex-Premier League side. Yes, they beat us 2-0, but in terms of chances created in the game, I think they had a lot less chances created. I think they just took two of the chances, and Coventry didn't take any. So from what I've seen of Norwich, I haven't really been impressed. I'm sure I'm wrong because they are top of the league. But I'm going to go for Cardiff to win this one, 2-1.
Wow, okay, that's an interesting prediction. The next game is Coventry City at home to Sheffield Wednesday. This is a big game at the bottom. Coventry City's last result in the league was a win against Millwall, which has seen us climb about 7 points clear of the drop. But a defeat here could pull us right back into this mess. And Sheffield Wednesday did beat us at their place. I think it'll be a tight game, very few goals. In fact, no goals. Coventry 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Ooh, I hope you're wrong. I hope there's going to be some goals because I can't deal with another boring 0-0. But yeah, I do agree. I think we are going to struggle for goals. We really are struggling without a second striker at the moment. I'm going to go for us to edge it 1-0 just because we can't let Sheffield Wednesday do the double over us this season, and we need to get 3 points. So 1-0 to Coventry.
1-0. The next game is another big battle at the bottom. It's Derby County versus Rotherham United, and these are two more teams that could go down this season. And I think Derby, they need to get something. They've just been knocked out of the FA Cup by Chorley, although they were playing a weaker team. I think Derby will win this one. They're at home. I'm going to go Derby 2, Rotherham 1.
Yeah, I agree. Derby do need to start picking up points. I'm going to go for them to sneak a win as well. Just 1-0 though.
Okay, 1-0. The next game is between Nottingham Forest and Millwall Football Club. Now, Forest, they're not 100% clear of the relegation zone. They're just sort of bobbing above it. And
Got
Millwall,
a couple of games in hand though, haven't they?
They might do, but I know a team that does have a few games in hand, that's Millwall, but they're still not clear of this relegation battle. They've been sucked into it with a few recent performances not being too great. It's going to be a tight one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I don't think there's a lot to separate these two.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair enough prediction. I can't really argue with that. 1-1, fair result.
Yeah. The next game is Queen's Park Rangers versus Wycombe Wanderers, and it's a massive game for QPR because they need to get the points to move away from getting sucked into a battle. There's so many big games at the bottom, and this is one of them. QPR have to win. Wycombe, obviously, a stubborn team. They might go down this season. I think they probably will, but they're not going to go down without a fight. I'm going to say QPR 2, Wycombe 1.
Yeah, probably two of the poorest sides in the league, to be honest. I mean, you know, Coventry haven't got many wins this season. We've managed to beat both of these teams. So what does that tell you? Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot in it. Maybe probably just a goal. I'm going to go for Wycombe to win though, 1-0.
1-0. The next game is between Reading and Brentford, two teams that I believe are in the playoffs as they come into this at the weekend. It's a massive game, absolutely massive, because Reading have fallen away a little bit since the start of the season, but they're still in the playoffs. They need to stay in that playoffs as long as they can, otherwise they could finish outside the top 6, and that'd be a very disappointing season considering the way they started. Brentford, obviously, a lot of people's favourites at the start of this season to do well. I just think Reading might cause them a few problems. I'm going to go for Reading 1, Brentford 1. A tight game.
Is Ivan Toney fit?
I believe he is.
Brentford to win then.
What are we saying?
2-0 to Brentford.
2-0 to Brentford.
There's no stopping Ivan Toney.
He's a good player, isn't he?
Again, I think he's got like 16 league goals this season. Crazy.
He's very good. The next game is Watford versus Huddersfield Town. Now, Huddersfield around mid-table. They've pulled off a few decent results. One of them being they beat Watford at their place, and that was the result that saw Watford sack their manager. Now, Watford will probably want a bit of revenge on them. Like I said, they beat them earlier in the season. I think Huddersfield are going to beat them again. Watford 1, Huddersfield 3.
Oh yeah, that's a very bold statement to say that Huddersfield are going to beat Watford again. Was it an own goal that they beat them by? Might
have been Ben Foster, maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think there was something dodgy going on in that game. But yeah, I think Watford are a much stronger side. I'm going to go for them to win 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
The final game is Barnsley versus Swansea City. Now, Swansea are looking good. Jamal Lowe and Andre Ayew are scoring a few goals, and Swansea, who knows, they might just get promoted this season, but they're up against a Barnsley team that are basically in a fight to get into the playoffs. And this is going to be a really interesting game because Barnsley, both these teams are both punching above their weight, I'd say. They're both doing better than anyone probably expected. Swansea probably looking towards automatics, Barnsley looking towards the playoffs. I'm going to say it'll be an entertaining 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think Swansea will end up being in the playoffs. I don't think Barnsley will. I think at best they'll end up around mid-table, if not slide into the second half of the league. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Swansea on this occasion.
2-0 win to Swansea. Okay, well, that wraps up today's video, guys. Let me know down in the comments what your predictions are, what your thoughts are, who you think got their predictions right or wrong, and we'll see in the next video who got more right. Cheers for joining. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.
Good night, guys.